And now it's time to do our usual Saturday superhero program with Spires of Magic, Rise of Spider-Man. Spider-Man? What? By Maximus Reborn. Chapter 1. All I Want is Second Chance. Dark days lie ahead for the center of the web. Within a dark room, an older woman sat in an unusually large chair with a crimson-colored blindfold over her eyes and a melting silk dress around her body. Large strands of webbing surrounded the entire room. Images of different Spider-Men and women embedded within them. Extending her hand, a small orb materialized and revealed an image of Spider-Man of her universe, Peter Parker. He was failing, morphing into another. His mask torn, Spider-Man fell to a knee before Dr. Octopus, Kraven the Hunter, Electro, Vulture, Shocker, and Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. A bright flash of light, the orb disappeared from sight before the end of the vision could play out. Madam Web shifted her head in the direction of one of the strands of webbing. Peter's image could be seen from within, but it broke away from his position, floating gracefully in the air. But instead of reaching the floor, the strand whipped around, placing itself upon a new spot in the web. Madam Web's brow furrowed. As watcher of the web, she had seen many things, even 4 different Spider-Men in one locale recently. Yet in all her wisdom, Madam Web could not believe the fate that awaited Spider-Man. There was hope yet, however. Energy spiraled near her lap, transforming into a book. Madam Web turned her attention to Pierre's strand of webbing. A new image formed inside, causing the woman to nod her head. With a flick of the wrist, the book disappeared from sight. It was time for Spider-Man to embark on a journey to fulfill his destiny as the world's greatest superhero, in a land far away. Explosions roared outside, causing the interior of her home to shake violently. Twilight peeked through the opening of her curtain, catching sight of a huge fanged beast wreaking havoc on Ponyville. His large, black, scaly frame covered the village like an ominous cloud, and his beady yellow eyes served as a false beacon in the light in the same darkness. "That monster's going to destroy the entire village at this rate," Twilight said, panic in his voice. Spike lost his footing, stumbling until he fell against the nearest wall. "What are we going to do?" "I don't know." The mayor shook her head sadly. "None of my letters are reaching Princess Celestia." Twilight rushed back to an assortment of books resting on her desk, pulled one from underneath the group, causing the arrows to fall across the floor. "There must be a spell I can use," she said, flipping through the pages hastily. A second tremor occurred, much stronger than the last, caused Twilight to lean against her desk for support. She turned her head away for a moment to steal a glance at the beast outside. But at that short time, the book she originally had vanished, with another taking its place. Once the mayor turned her attention back to the book, she wasted no time in opening it, unaware of the change that occurred. "What's this? Greatest hero in history? He's said to have saved countless lives and fought the most dangerous beings around." Violet eyes sifted through the pages, widening at the sight of a noble passage. "Wait, this is a summoning spell!" "Summoning spell? You really think that's safe? I don't think you've ever done that before." Spike ran to her side, look of concern in his eyes. "What if something happens? Princess Celestia might punish you." "I know, Spike, but every pony is in danger. I have to do something." Once her body glowed with bright violet energy, her pupils disappeared. She focused all of her power into a spell. "I'll just pray it's enough." Elsewhere, swinging across the skies of New York on a strand of webbing, Spider-Man groaned beneath his mask. The city folk had been relatively rude for the day, calling him every foul word imaginable, and some new ones as well. Stevenson gave him a lousy paycheck, though that wasn't anything new. To top it all off, he missed his math class for the 3rd time this week. "Don't know why I bother sometimes." He rolled his eyes and sighed. His still life as Peter Parker and Spider-Man was taking its toll. He was losing paces at an astonishing rate. Maybe I should stop being Spider-Man. I mean, no one will miss me. Can't blame them, really, not after what happened to Captain Stacy and Gwen. Using his strength in his legs, he threw himself from his webbing and proceeded to glide momentarily. This is getting tiresome. City really needs to change around here. The same instant, a purple door opened in midair. "What the?" he shot, unable to stop himself. The door opened and Spider-Man flew right through, babbling incoherently as he cruised through a dark, star-filled room. Before he knew it, a path opened, and he could do nothing but watch helplessly as he crashed into a bookshelf, causing it to fall on his limp frame. "Ow!" Spider-Man muttered weakly. A few moments passed before he used his strength to toss the heavy furniture to the side with ease and make his way back to the vertical base. Well, that was weird. Wonder where am I? It's not every day I fall into a random door into the sky. It's only Tuesday when that happens, and today's Thursday. That's officially when it makes it weird. What the heck is that? Spike sputtered out, a strangely costumed being. Spider-Man turned around and immediately yelped at the sight of a purple pony with a tiny dragon inside. He shook his head, glancing around before slowly pointing himself. What the heck am I? What the heck are you? Stepping back and forth, Spider-Man attempted to gather his surroundings, but failed miserably. Better yet, where am I? Equestria, Twilight hesitantly said, causing the young man to yelp once again. I summoned you here. Her eyes wide. The strange creatures beside him is leaving her mind with a plethora of thoughts. What is this? He's not like us. Uncertain what to make the situation, the unicorn furrowed her brow. Where are you from, and what are you exactly? He's still in human mode. He is still in human mode. Excuse me one sec. Okay, I am back. After talking to my now very dead friend, who is right now charboiled, and we realistically clean that up, he should become a pony later on in the fic. Okay. Tilting his head to the side, Spider-Man stared at the lavender mare for what seemed like minutes. Did that horse talk to me? He muttered. The idea too far-fetched to take seriously. Fortunately, memories of one of his latest adventures reminded him that weird circumstances were bound to occur in his life. Placing his hand over his forehead, Peter sighed inwardly. Saw a cartoon pink version of myself once. Telling ponies rather normal compared to that. Nodding, Spider-Man turned to the pony with his shoulders shrugged. Okay, so I know I'm not losing my mind, or humoring my hallucinations, whichever comes first. You asked for where I'm from and what am I? Well, despite what my awesome sense of fascination suggests, I'm just a human from Earth. He looked around and analyzed his surroundings. Please tell me I'm just in an alternate dimension or something. Twilight glanced to the side, retreating to the confines of her mind for any recollection regarding the given location. After several moments, her eyes sprung open at the realization. Earth? Human? There are tales that such a place existed long ago. Humans are folkless and said to have roamed our world eons ago. Closing her eyes, Twilight frowned. But that's merely a fairy tale, meaning you are not physically and scientifically impossible. The talking pony is telling me I don't exist. I don't know whether to be terrified or insulted. Spider-Man scratched the back of his head. Where I come from, a lot of things if I determine possible. I'm getting off topic, though. Why did you bring me here in the first place? Before she could begin the explanation, another tremor shook the room to the core, knocking Twilight out of her hose and staggering Spider-Man to a knee. I rushed over to the window and pushed the curtains open. Twilight turned and motioned for Spider-Man to join her, causing the young man to promptly obey. As Leslie saw it open at the sight of the colossal beast outside. That monster is close to destroying our home. She turned with a deep sense of plea in her large violet eyes. I was desperate, and before the summoning spell that would bring the world's greatest hero here. He tilted his head to the side and commented, And you got me? I'm not even from here to begin with. Sorry for selfish, but I implore you. She gets closer. Her face is close as it is. No, I beg of you. Please, save my friends. Shrugging his shoulder, Spider-Man felt a twinge of guilt take over. I don't mind helping, but I'm the greatest? That's so wrong on so many levels. I'm not great in the slightest. You must have misread a spell. No, I know you missed him somewhere. I know you can find someone 11 times better than me. I know this. God, this is nice to work with a hammer. And maybe you could summon him instead? Better yet, there's this nutcase of Claus that goes on about how he's the best there is at what he does. Better yet, why not summon, another pony? Shaking her head madly, Twilight yelled, I don't know if I can. I wasn't supposed to perform the summoning spell in the first place. Please, I promise to send you back when this is over. Just right now, I need you to do something. Her voice cried in desperation, eyes steadily swallowed tears. Please, you're the only one who can help right now. Laying out a defeated sigh, Spider-Man threw up his hands defensively. This is so weird, but okay, I'll help. I punched a T-Rex once, so maybe this will be so different? He jumped across the room and lighted in front of a large double door. He paused as the thought occurred. What's your name, by the way? Her face flushed, easily with embarrassment. I'm sorry. I've forgotten my manners. My name's Twilight Sparkle. What's yours? He shook his head disapprovingly. I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. His brow furrowing underneath his mask. The man let out a direct groan before leaping out the window. Magical talking ponies and killer dragons. This is Spider-Ham and a Savage Land all over again. Oh well, they possibly can't get any weirder. Once the strangely guarded being was out of range, Spike turned to Twilight with a worried look. Do you think you could do it? Doesn't really seem heroic. He does come off a bit unorthodox, but he's the best hope we have for survival. Twilight's mouth quivered before slowly saying, I'll work hard to find a spell just in case it happens. I'm not sure, Twilight. I mean, is it safe for him to run around? What will everybody say? He paused, the muscles in his body growing suddenly. What will Princess Celestia say about this? She didn't respond right away. She looked away, resisting the urge to swallow the lump in her throat. I'm not sure, but I'm more worried about everybody else. I'll deal with that when the time comes. She grimaced. I hope I won't get banished for this. Ugh. Oh, what's the matter? You seem very scared. Your face is pale. I just had a thought, guys. What if Xenolestia is just around the corner? No. Those days are gone. Turkey means, sure, there was My Little Pirates, but that was just a random occurrence. Surely we're not going to get Xenolestia. Yeah, so Xenolestia won't show up. Right? On the other side of the village, Spider-Man continued to sprint, leaping from one rooftop to another. I take this rather well. I was just pulled to an alternate dimension and volunteered to save a bunch of ponies from a giant dragon. He flipped over a chimney, landing on the side of the wall of the nearest building. Is it wrong that I still find Squirrel Girl and Deadpool weird on all counts? I swear I think I lost my marbles years ago, and I'm only now realizing how weird my life is! He crouched and jumped high into the air, extending his hand out to shoot out his webbing. He released his strand to perform a front dive, managing to land perfectly onto a street stump. Help! The voice brought Spider-Man's attention on the other side of the village, where he saw Pegasus with a beautiful pink mane and also blue eyes running in his direction. Fortunately, closing in on her tail was a claw nearly twice her size. Spider-Man saw a strand of webbing from his hand and sped to the pony with a great swing. Shifting his body, he turned sharply, whisking the pony away before the dragon could claim his prize. With his arm wrapped around her, he continued to swing while the thunderous footsteps of the dragon questioned, signaling his pursuit. The young pony watched in bewilderment, gasping with every swing of her saber. Oh my, thank you, she said barely above a whisper. No problem. I'm used to saving damsels in distress, but ponies are entirely new. First I glanced up to say something, but her nerves slipped the moment she saw his huge, blank, bug-like axes. His figure nearly indicated he was not a pony with his fingers, thumbs, and lack of a tail. Before Firesight could think of a further subject, the dragon took a wild swing. When Spider-Man drove underneath the blow, clutched the girl tighter and resumed his swinging. What are you? She asked, voice filled with a mixture of awe and fear. I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, he said casually, earning a buffalo look from the Pegasus. Laughing sheepishly, the man shrugged. Sorry, kind of a thing back home. Trust me, it will become a thing here. I don't intend to stay that long. Spider-Man swung to Marius' grasp. The dragon inhaled deeply, causing the spider sense to blare off inside his head. He turned to see the flames streaming from inside the dragon's mouth, before shifting his gaze onto the wings of her back. Excuse me, miss. I'm Fluttershy, she whispered, the embarrassment apparent in her voice. Fluttershy, can you fly? She closed her eyes and shook her head. Oh, yes, but I'm not good at flying. Spider-Man jerked his wrist and broke away from his web. Fluttershy let out a shriek, clutching the man as tight as possible with a hose around his neck. Turning around, Spider-Man fired a wave of webbing at her target. The gossamer flew right into the dragon's eyes, causing it to clutch at his face and stop at his tracks with a front flip. Spider-Man landed on the roof nearest building. He's not going to be able to see you for a few minutes. You should fly out here and find shelter, he said, wrapping his arm from around her body, allowing the Pegasus to flap her wings. As she hovered, Fluttershy's large eyes were filled with concern. Are you sure? It'll be dangerous. I appreciate your concern, but I don't want you to get hurt for my sake. I have a sense of guilt like you wouldn't believe, and I feel horrible if you're kind to Crossfire. He replied before placing his hand on her shoulder. Do me this favor and promise me you'll be safe, okay? Before she could respond, the dragon snatched the webbing from his face and snarled at the sight of Spider-Man. He inhaled deeply, mustering up as much breath as he could, and exhaled a massive ball of fire at his target. Spider-Man turned and pushed Fluttershy away from the area. At the last moment, he jumped away from the building and landed on top of the smaller one. "Now make like a tree and leave already!" Spider-Man yelled. Fluttershy's eyes filled with tears, though she only knew him for a few moments. Fluttershy did not want to see the strange being get hurt. Slamming her eyes shut, she chose to respect his wishes and flew in the opposite direction. Sweet girl. I wish some of the girls back at home could be half as nice as her. The dragon's eyes followed the girl. He ready to give chase, but Spider-Man landed on top of his beak. He shook his head madly to shake off the human, but didn't budge at all. It was as his feet were firmly planted in his place. His clawed hand rose and crashed down, but Spider-Man backflipped to avoid the attack, leaving the dragon to smack himself accidentally. When Spider-Man landed on his feet, he crouched and shot webbing into the dragon's eye at point-blank range. He didn't stop until the majority of the dragon's head was wrapped in webbing. The beast flung out madly, desperate to see again, but Spider-Man landed and ran between his legs. That should keep him busy long enough for me to get everyone out of the village. Peter cut across the nearest corner, almost immediately found a large pile of masonry near a destroyed house. He got out of sight. I just have to hurry before he causes too much damage. Wait! The voice of a girl caused him to stop in his tracks and turn to the rubble. His eyes widened to the sight of a sky blue near the bottom of the pile. Walked over, fierce concerns at the sight of a pony. A rainbow-patterned mane shielded most of her face. When pleated, large violet eyes could still be seen. Spider-Man placed his hands underneath the base of the rubble, taking a deep breath, and lifted the masonry off the mare, giving her enough time to crawl underneath under the debris. The second he released the rock, she flew in the air. Thanks! Not like I needed help or ain't. The pony's mouth fell agape. Once her eyes finally fell on the bizarre-looking being, she stepped back, holding her host offensively. Okay, who or what are you supposed to be? I'm Spider-Man. I'm supposed to let to give you my backstory. There's no time for that now. He stepped back and glanced at the dragon, finding the beast still attempting to remove the webbing from his eyes. You should get out of here while you still can. Spider-Man? You don't really look like a spider there, pal. You look more like something that crawled out Nightmare Night. The Pegasus stirred her brow, giving the man a questionable glare. I don't know what you are or where you came from. She paused, allowing her meaning to soften. But I saw you help my friend Fluttershy. Guess that means you're all right. Nodding, Spider-Man gave a simple thumbs up. That's great to hear, but I need you to do me a favor. Think you can help evacuate the rest of the village while I can do what I can here? The Pegasus brought her hope to her forehead, giving the man a firm salute. Just leave it to me. Are you seriously thinking about taking on that dragon? You're as crazy as you look. Don't worry, I'm used to working in a hazardous environment. You're still crazy, but try not to get yourself killed, Spider Dude. She nodded before turning to run. However, the mare stopped in her tracks almost immediately. Needs rainbow dash, by the way. She took to the sky with great velocity, leaving a rainbow-powered trail to follow behind. Spider-Man rubbed the underside of his chin. Rainbow dash, huh? Subtle. Taking a defensive stance, Peter ready to resume his bow, but spied something out of the corner of his eye. A very light, aquamarine-colored pony stood in front of the burning house, pacing uncontrollably by the flaming door. Spider-Man jumped to the nearest rooftop of the building and used his webbing. Slinging himself to the dragon's head. With all his momentum, he delivered a swift kick to the side of his jaw, managing to send the beast tumbling to the ground. When the dragon further distracted, Spider-Man rushed over to Kai's, next to the landing to the distressed pony. What are you doing? You need to get out of here. Did your mama ever tell you not to play with fire? He said, holding his arms out to the side where the dragon sat, or giant killer dragons. Paying the man's words no mind, Pegasus gaze firmly stared at the burning house. I'm sorry, but some pony's still inside, so we burned alive if no pony does anything. While the silent mare watched the scene, Spider-Man shifted his sense into a wall of flames surrounding the door. That right? I'll get her out. You get out of the village when you can. But it's really dangerous. You shouldn't. The mare turned to face the man finally. All the blood in her body grew colder to sight. The creature's unusual features were enough to send a wave of uncertainty through most equestrians. But oddly enough, the mare did not seem affected. Not out of fear, but fascination. Her host trembled, sending tremors throughout her entire body. Goosebumps formed into her coat. Her heart rate threatened to escalate too greatly. You're a human! The second her mind contemplated taking action, Spider-Man drove through the second floor window. The mare prepared to follow. Despite the physical limitation, but a blinking eye, something swooped from the sky, grasping the unicorn. She struggled to break free, only caused the catcher's grip to tighten. Lyra, what are you doing? Rainbow Dash spat, frustrated with her friend's unusual amount of resistance. Can't you see it's dangerous? I don't care about that, she retorted, refusing to eat her screaming. I have to go back and catch that human! Again with the humans, Lyra. For the last time, Rainbow Dash growled, focusing on her increasing speed. They don't exist! Shards of glass scattered in every direction, covering the floor in someone's costume. Hey, where are you? He screamed, hopefully the worst that had occurred. Somebody upstairs? Please, help! Spider-Man rushed to the stairs and jumped to the bomb. He gasped aloud as sight burst in on. Flames of scare throughout the entire floor and stood a few feet. Polly sat helplessly in the corner, huddled against the walls wide shut. Her violet mane resembled Twilight's, and her coat resembled the paleness of the moon, but shone beautifully. Before he could call out to her, she collapsed. Pieces of the ceiling fell, but missed her slender frame by a few inches. The flames drew closer to her and grew in height. Spider-Man hurled over the first flame and proudly went a wall under a second, but a piece of falling, flaming rubble clutched him and crushed him in a moment. He performed a front flip, dodged the rubble, and landed feet first on the ceiling. With one final leap, he landed next to the unicorn. Spider-Man lifted her body and placed the pony gently on his back. However, his sixth sense for danger began to ring once again before he could progress. He jumped across the room and stopped in front of the nearest window. Glanced through the room and stopped at his side, a stepping stool. He shot his webbing into the stool and threw it out the window, throwing it outside. Resuming his web swinging, Spider-Man made his way to the outskirts of the village. Once he landed safely, Rainbow Dash approached to him. Is everyone safe? He asked. Once the mayor nodded, Spider-Man chuckled. Well, that's a relief. Think you can help her? He added, sticking his head to the snow-white unicorn on his back. I just saw your friend, Spider-Man saw her. Rainbow Dash gasped. Rarity! Is she? She's fine, just unconscious. He walked over to the bear's side, gently placed Rarity on her back. However, she stumbled in her sleep, opening her eyes lazily. She stared at Spider-Man for a few moments before her lips curled to a frown. My gosh, that outfit's horrendously tacky, she whispered, before succumbing to the unconsciousness once again. Spider-Man rolled his eyes underneath his mask and exhaled. Oh, for the love of... Why does everyone talk crap about my costume? He turned to his gaze to Rainbow Dash. I need you to get out of here. What about you? I'll be fine. Everyone else is safe. That's the important thing. Just promise to take care of everyone for me, okay? He shrugged. Now get out of here! Rainbow Dash tried to protest, but Spider-Man jumped out of the way and swung back to the village. Her eyes filled with sadness, but she ignored her words and thoughts and flew deep into the forest. I hope you'll be okay. Spider-Man swung before landing on the highest building. Great! Now it's just him and me, he said confidently, with a spring in his step. However, the dragon snatched the webbing from his eyes and let out a soul-piercing roar. He bore his fangs and glared intently at Spider-Man. He grabbed a boulder crushed in his grasp. The sight caused a shiver to run up Pierre's spine. Confidence took a nosedive into oblivion. Great! Now it's just him and me. The dragon lunged forward, but Spider-Man rolled to his side, managing to avoid being crushed by his attacker's weight. Before the beast could recover, Pierre dove forward and was held back as far as possible. With all his strength, he could easily knock the dragon out in a single punch. He neared his target, prepared to deliver the coup to Gracie, but his muscles and his body locked up, causing the man to inadvertently stop in his tracks. His body shook uncontrollably, forcing Spider-Man to clutch his side. Fortunately, before he could really collect his senses, the dragon reared back and struck, sending the man flying into a nearby wall. If anyone strikes her, Spider-Man pried himself free before the dragon's tail went by, destroying the area. What the heck's wrong with me? Pierre jumped from a rooftop to the next, before leaping forward, striking the dragon's stomach above his feet. I feel like I could have beaten this guy 1,000 times by now. He flipped into the air, avoiding the dragon's attempt to crush him on the ground. Using his strength to stop the beast's hand. I think I'm losing my strength somehow. Spider-Man took to the air, ready to swing away, but the dragon used his free hand to snatch him out of midair and toss him across the village. His body flew helplessly for several moments before it crashed through a window and slid across the marble floor. It bounced off a cabinet, causing its plates to fall around his flame. You know, just once, I'd like to be summoned to an island filled with lonely supermodels instead of anything that's willing to kill me! A cookie tear in the edge of the pan right above Pierre. Pulling the lower half of his mask up, he reached out and took the tree in hand. Boys can cook here too. Next thing you know, they'll be able to skateboard. They'll be able to hit a local circus. His mouth watered, ready to perform a taste test on the delicious morsel. But it sensed erupted in his train of thought. Pierre peeked up and winced at the sight of a large yellow pupil looked down through the window. Hey! This is mine! Get your own! Spider-Man flipped to his feet, took the pan, and threw it directly into the dragon's eye. Screaming out in pain, the dragon brought his claws over his head. Pierre scoffed, finally taking a bite out of the cupcake. Man, these ponies crooked goes Aunt May. He chuckled. Spider-Man jumped out of the house, landing by a large boulder. He peeked up at the dragon standing over him, attention still on the aching eye. He came up with an idea. He just hands at the boulder, spinning several strands of webbing around, but making sure not to cut it off at the end. He took a few steps back until the webbing reached its limit. I would say let's rock, but that pun is so beneath me. He muttered before a smirk formed on his face. But I'll say it anyway, let's rock! Extending his legs, Spider-Man slingshot himself onto the boulder, sending it airborne into sight of the dragon's head. Impact caused the beast to stagger back before he fell through a house behind him, sending shards of wood and masonry all across the village. Spider-Man landed on the dragon's stomach and glanced at the scattered debris around him. I must say, big guy, you really brought down the house. Now do me and these ponies a favor. Stand still while I deliver the cruise to grace. Same instant, the dragon ripped his clawed hand around Spider-Man's entire body, with the exception of his head and neck. He reared the man closer to get a close up his sullen eye. Peter chuckled at first, but once the dragon roared, he could only let out a small sound of whimpers. I know what this is. I'm in a dream. Any second now, I'm going to wake up and find myself late to class. I'll wake up soon, he prayed to himself, clicking what little hope he held on to. If not, I'm sure that pony will come up with a spell any second now! And this weird experience will come just in another moment in my bizarre life. Then I can sleep this off, right? The dragon snarled even louder, turning Peter's skin a shade of white snow. Right! The dragon's roar ended abruptly with a low laughter replacing it. Peter's masked legends widened at the sound.
You're wrong, Edwin.
The dragon growled.
My master has plans for your friend, Twilight Sparkle.
Spider-Man shook his head and squirmed to ring, but the dragon's grip was too firm. Okay, first off, Darth Vader called, once his voice back. He continued to struggle, managing to free one of his hands. Second, I'm just visiting. You couldn't have timed this any worse. Third, what creep do you work for? Fourth, what does he want with her? And fifth, can we have a do-over? I'm kind of going through a power failure at the moment. Let me recharge my batteries and we'll partake in something more friendly. How does musical chair sound? The dragon snored, blowing Spider-Man's head back.
You are an annoying one. I work for the spirit of harmony, chaos, discord, and he will return to Equestria on the story of eternal chaos.
What? Can I read that sentence again? You're an annoying one. I work for the spirit of disharmony and chaos, discord. He'll return to Equestria to a state of eternal chaos. That's what I thought I read. Okay! Why not? As long as there isn't anything as stupid as My Little Pirates. The dragon snarled, grinding his grip on Peter.
You're lucky, my master only wants to send a message. Otherwise, I'll crush you here and now.
The entire body growing limp, Spider-Man exhaled. Dilly nodded! The dragon ears clawed back, but a flash of light erupted under his seat. His body began to fade away into the night, much like a ghost would. Fang formed a wicked smile.
It's the same as spells temporary. But don't worry. You'll see me alongside my master 3 months from tonight.
Peter groaned. Better make your reservations then. Once we're booked, it'll be hard to hold us to your table.
Go on and make your jokes. If you're the best Twilight Sparkle could find, my master will have no problem taking over in the future. The elements of harmony will not best them a third time.
His wicked smile widened,
especially now that he knows how to best the element of magic.
A sprout furrowed beneath his mask. What are you talking about? Elements of harmony? Next thing you know, you'll tell me the friendship is magic. Ha ha! He said it. He said it.
That's the last time I make a Family Guy reference on my show!
His brow furrowed.
My message has been set. Tell the ponies my master wishes them the best of luck.
An awkward silence filled the space between the two, but it ended once the dragon threw Peter as hard as he could before his body completely vanished from existence. Peter's screaming echoed across the skies of Ponyville, to the outskirts of the evergreen forest, until he crashed into the lake, causing a splash to match the height of his trees. His head spun around at the point of impact, causing his eyes to roll back into his head. He tried to move his muscles, throwing his hands against the wire, but he remained still. A sign of his super strength had long since left him. His eyes raced, trying to piece his crumbling mind back together. Consciousness continued to slip, and he slowly breathed in the wire around him. He growled inwardly, matching Satch's fast endurance as well. Pierre finally surrendered his subconscious as his body steadily sank into the cold depths of the lake. A silhouette approached him from above and hovered over his limp frame. Pierre watched her golden hair flow gracefully from the flow of wire, and the moon's light reflected her large green eyes, despite the darkness of wire around them. She pulled him over his shoulder and paddled to the surface with surprising speed. Once he reached the surface, she gasped for breath and peered back to her passer. "You all okay there, partner?" Pierre attempted to respond, but the wire escaped from his mouth, forcing him to cough out the rest. "No!" he bluntly said, allowing his head to rest completely against the pony's golden mane. She chuckled. "Nah, I reckon you wouldn't be. First I told me you were finding that dragon back in the village by yourself. I don't know whether to call you brave or crazy." "I don't know if it's the brain trauma, but I didn't hear a word you said," he said to himself, loud enough for the mare to hear. She peered back, prompting Pierre to glance back up and admire the snow-white freckles on her face. "It's okay. I also heard you see my friends, Rarity and Rainbow Dash. That's awful brave of you. I'm Applejack, by the way." "Applejacks? But it's too late for cereal," he swirled. "Sorry, Miss Talking Pony. I'm going to take a nap now," he murmured, finally passing out from exhaustion. The girl turned around, but a blue streak in the sky caught her skyward. Rainbow Dash slipped through the limbs, hovering to slow herself a few feet away from Applejack. "Is he okay?" she asked, unaware she was inching closer to his being. Applejack nodded. "He's okay. The fellow took a nasty fall, but I managed to fetch him out of the river." Concern filled her eyes. "What about the village? Is that dragon still running milk?" "That's the weird thing. No sign of him. It's as if he completely disappeared." Both ponies shared a glance before Applejack shifted her shoulders and peered back at the masked man. "Well, I reckon we should be grateful for whatever our friend here did. I don't mean to point out the obvious, but what exactly is this fella?" "Applejack! Rainbow Dash!" a voice called out through the mist. Rainbow Dash's eyes widened. "Twilight, is that you?" Galloping through the forest, Twilight pressed through an assortment of tree limbs and stopped between Rainbow Dash and Applejack. She paused, violet eyes softening the sight of the man on Applejack's shoulders. But she recollected her nerve frown. "Girls, it's urgent. Princess Celestia summoned us. Fluttershy, Rarity, and Pinky are already on their way to meet with her now." "Hold your horses there, Twilight!" Applejack buried out, plenty of her fun right out there. "What about this fellow on my back? Can't just leave him here." "We aren't leaving him," Twilight replied. She turned to follow the lump before her throat, and closed her eyes. "Princess Celestia wants to see him too." Before any pony could react, Pierre's body glowed with crimson energy before exploding in a bright flash of light. Applejack slammed her side shut, bracing herself for impact, but the emerald irises opened to the lack of any damage occurring. She glanced around aimlessly, trying to figure out what happened exactly. However, Rainbow Dash and Twilight's jaws escaped to the blonde's attention. She followed their lines of sight, turning her back to a man on her back. Something was wrong, evident by the horror that filled Applejack's eyes as well. His form changed drastically, matching the mares around him. A horn protruded on his forehead, managing to tear his mask slightly, and many escape. The same happened with his newly formed tail. However, some way, the man transformed into a pony. "You know, I always expected Peter to be more, of an earth pony." As the mares around him panicked at the sudden change, Madame Web nodded her head, causing the orb in front of her to disappear. "Spider-Man, your greatest trial begins now."